Today, I want to talk about Minerva McGonagall.
Minerva McGonagall. I don't think I've ever heard her first name.
Oh, yes. That's her first name, Minerva.
So it is.
So it is. Professor McGonagall.
That's the way I always knew her, yes. Yeah, okay. Well, this is a character that I know a little bit about. Just I know what she looks like in the movies. I know that she's...
The incomparable Maggie Smith.
Yes. I know that she's a professor and she's related to... she's always hanging around the Gryffindor crew. So...
Yeah, she is head of Gryffindor House.
Okay, yeah.
So, yes. Mm-hmm.
Head of Gryffindor, and she's also a professor.
She is, yes. Do you remember what subject she teaches?
I do not.
She teaches transfiguration.
Okay.
Changing things into other things.
Yeah, okay, great. Mm-hmm.
And she's also deputy headmistress. So anytime that Dumbledore is unavailable, he's out of the castle, or he's sent away, she's in charge, basically.
Okay, she's vice president.
Yes, exactly. Vice principal.
Vice principal, yeah.
Yeah. And by the end of the series, she does end up being headmistress permanently.
Mm-hmm. Spoilers.
Right? I wonder who doesn't make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is Scottish, and she's kind of a tough, strict, no-nonsense character, but she's very wise and very capable, and she can be a bit cheeky too. She's got a little glint in her eye sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember her being pretty strict. Always,
yes.
Taking points away from the Gryffindor kids.
Yeah, she's a bit of a disciplinarian that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's also very loyal to her friends, especially Dumbledore, who was her transfiguration teacher when she went to school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And another fun thing about Professor McGonagall is that she is a big Quidditch fan.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we've heard about that in some previous episodes.
We have, yes.
Yes.
Her competitive side we've talked about.
Yeah, and that she maybe was the one who got the Nimbus 2000 for Harry?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It came from her. I don't know if she actually bought it, but yeah. I like to think she did, that she gave that to him. Yeah. Well, and that was kind of an example of how she was, she's strict, but when she caught Harry flying a broom when he wasn't supposed to, she didn't punish him. She put him on the Gryffindor Quidditch team,
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And she used to play Quidditch when she was at school.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's where that.
Do we know what position she played?
I think she was a chaser, but I'm not positive on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And the other cool thing about Minerva McGonagall is she's an animagus. You remember what that is?
Yeah. Animagus, meaning that she can she can transform herself into another creature.
Yes.
Or animal.
Do you know what creature she turns into? What animal?
Yeah, I'm remembering her turning into a cat.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
A tabby cat with square spectacle markings around the eyes.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Kind of looks like her.
Oh, that's so fitting. If she was a chaser in Quidditch, if turns into a cat, cats chase things a lot.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she did use her cat form. It allowed her to be to spy on Voldemort's followers and to inform on them to the Aurors during both of Voldemort's rises to power.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So she's a cool person. She's a cool character.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to hear more about her name.
Yes. Okay. Well, you didn't know that her first name was Minerva, but now that you do, have you heard that name before?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, Minerva is the Roman goddess of wisdom and warfare.
Oh.
So she's kind of the equivalent of the Greek Athena.
Okay. I've definitely heard of Athena. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. The Roman version, basically.
The Roman version is Minerva. Yes.
Minerva.
She's also the goddess of courage, justice, strategy, medicine, arts, dyeing, as in changing the color of things, science, trade, and commerce. But mostly it's wisdom and warfare.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of hats to wear.
It is, yes. Which, Professor McGonagall also wears a lot of hats. She's professor, head of Gryffindor House, deputy headmistress, spy.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool.
And Minerva was almost a Ravenclaw. The Sorting Hat debated a long time with her. I don't know if you remember, it was the same with Harry, where the Sorting Hat was like, you would do well in Slytherin. And he was like, Gryffindor.
Right.
And so the Sorting Hat put him in Gryffindor.
Oh, so same thing with her?
Same thing with her. The Sorting Hat was like, you would do well in Ravenclaw. You're a smart cookie there. But, she also had a lot of bravery. And she, kind of indicated, I guess, that that was the side that she felt more affinity with. And so that she got put in Gryffindor, which is the bravery is their prized attribute.
Okay. Yeah.
Versus intelligence for Ravenclaw. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she was both. And the Gryffindor side relates more to her last name.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So McGonagall comes from the Celtic Conagall, which means the bravest.
Oh, very fitting then.
Yes, very fitting.
Literally the word that describes the house that she rules over.
Exactly. She's the bravest of the brave house, right? Yeah. She's the head of Gryffindor.
Okay, yeah.
But actually, Rowling says that she heard the name and she really liked it and wanted to use it, and it just happens that it's very fitting for this character.
Okay.
So she had heard it from William Topaz McGonagall, who was a real person, and he is widely thought to be the worst poet in the English language.
What a title.
Immediately made me think of the Vogons in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But I think they're only the third worst poets in the universe.
Yes.
Vogon poetry is widely accepted as the third worst in the universe.
Oh, wow. So she just heard of this poet's name because he's kind of famous for being awful and
exactly
in the writing world.
Yeah. And she was like, that's funny. Actually, I really like that last name. Let's throw it on like the most intelligent and bravest character,
there you go.
Right?
Let's flip it and reuse it for something a little bit more appropriate.
Nab that, flip it, and reverse it.
Yeah. Whoa, little Missy Elliott reference there.
I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it.
Well, I do have a little sample of William Topaz McGonagall's poetry.
Oh, good.
I'd like to hear it. Yes.
Let's hear it.
So, fellow citizens of Bonnie Dundee, are ye aware how the magistrates have treated me? Nay, do not stare or make a fuss when I tell you they have boycotted me from appearing in Royal Circus. Which, in my opinion, is a great shame and a dishonor to the city's name.
Oh, yeah. This is top-notch stuff.
Right? He rhymed fuss with circus.
Yeah.
And there were like twice as many words in that line as the previous one.
Yeah, there's no flow going on there at all.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now the world knows a different McGonagall. And,
yes. Perhaps a better McGonagall.
Perhaps, yes. That's funny.
Yeah. Minerva Topaz McGonagall.
Yeah, she should have gotten the cool middle name.
Right?
Yeah.
No, she hasn't listed as having a middle name as far as I can see.
Okay.
Or at least not known.
Oh, well. Well,
Yeah.
we'll call her Topaz going forward.
Nice. Somehow I don't think she'd like that.
No. It's not quite fitting, is it?
Not quite.
No. Yeah. Well, interesting backstory and where she gets the names. Very fitting names.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
She's
first,
half and half. She's very wise and very brave.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, her first name Rowling just pulled straight from myth, and an interesting way to come across and use the last name, but a very fitting meaning by the last name too.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Cool. Yeah, I like this character too. So,
Yeah, she's great.
yeah, she's kind of like the tough love kind of
Yeah.
matron of Hogwarts. Well, if you're interested in learning more about more character names and places and spells and creatures, then be sure to subscribe to the Potternims podcast. And you can also check us out and interact with other listeners on our Facebook and Instagram accounts at Potternims.
Yeah, and if you want some fun bloopers and bonus features, go to patreon.com/potternims, and if you help support this podcast, help us continue doing what we do, you get some cool bonus content.
And make sure that you rate and share with any other Harry Potter friends you have. Yeah, well, until next episode, I'm Erik.
And I'm Al.
And this has been Potternims.